Hello and welcome to the back nine of round one of the 2025 MVP Music City Open, presented by Another Round Disc Golf, our fourth stop of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hockeys.
Honk. Lots of muddy conditions out there, some standing water on the course. Our feature card playing well though, most of them under par. Silva Saarinen leading the field at a bogey-free 3-down. Kristin Lätt, two-time winner of this event in the previous 2 years, not far behind her at 2 down. Cadence, Burge, 1 down.
Yeah, the big kicker out here is just keeping the double bogeys off your scorecard. This is the type of course that you need to be recovering, even though there are not a lot of birdies, especially on the par fours. We found that theme during the front nine.
And the theme continues with hole 10. It's a par 4, 630 feet. They brought this left side in quite a bit. It is a very narrow pinch point, exactly where you want to land. You do have to push the out of bounds if you want to line yourself up to potentially get this birdie. I love a forehand off the tee. The backhand can work, but is fading right towards that out of bounds line. And then the OB continues down the left and right side and around the back. This tunnel shot is no joke, but if you make the tunnel, there's some room down there.
And even though this is a hard hole, I like it.
I like it too.
It's fun.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I do think the left side OB is just a little bit more punishing than it needs to be.
Agreed.
By 20 feet maybe.
Also this year, a perfect shot that goes right to the landing zone, short of OB, missing that left OB, just a great shot, is literally the boggiest of boggy spots.
And narrowest.
So you land in this perfect spot, you're so excited, and you get up there and there's just no footing. You can't really do a run up. It is sopping wet.
Sopping.
Yep, a puddle.
Kristin taking a little bit off of the forehand to avoid that narrowest part. Silva going to work the backhand. You usually see a lot of this kind of pushing the right side. She definitely pushes it more than she wants to and is going to find out of bounds. Ideally, it goes straight at that right side, then fades right at the very end. Catrina still even par with a couple bogeys at the end of the front. Still good enough for a tie for 8th.
Yeah, it was a headwind left to right here. Is that right?
Let me check my notes. I got no head for wind.
I can't remember here. I know there was a wind because I was thinking about it.
There was a wind. It was a right to left.
Okay.
Is what I wrote when I came through.
And I think a little heady as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's why it really made sense for the forehand as well.
Yeah. Catrina looks like she landed safe, but she did get tangled up in the right side early. It's pretty easy to recover as long as you're safe and in that first gap of trees. Leaving it a little bit low, not getting super aggressive there.
This is a tricky tunnel, though.
Yeah, Silva with the out of bounds. Oh, no, did she not land out of bounds?
I guess she was safe.
Huh.
And, oh, man, that is gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
oh, wow is right. Let's see it again. What a shot. Look how tight she trims the trees there.
And the fact that she is able to make that disc hold on that line straight out of her hand, it's just beautiful.
And a sweet ollie off the rock.
Cadence with a more typical shot, but with the rough footing. And she's going to get a really mean kick as well.
Brutal. I feel like more often than not, if you hit those left side trees, they are mean. They're looking to mess you up.
Bullies.
Yeah.
Bunch of bullies.
We hate them.
The wind really showing itself even through the trees. Catrina with a patent pending.
Nice
really
shot.
Nice approach.
Cadence, with the OB, and this is the trouble over here. There's a lot of it. She just has to pitch out.
And I understand why they have the OB line over there, because there's a tee pad right there for the next hole, but it feels a little cruel.
Mm-hmm. I almost want them to go wider at first and then narrow right there. Like that whole little part could be out of bounds, and then wider again. Agreed.
I like that. Just because where Cadence went out of bounds, like she's getting a stroke. She's getting double punished.
Exactly. Which we hate. Doubly punished.
Hate it.
Doubly. Ooh. And that was perhaps just a bit of a flustered mistake.
Yeah, kind of fluffed the approach. She's going to have this tester or double.
From the bog here. Not great footing. Great putt, though. And did you already say how hard this one played? I'm sure very difficult.
It was in the top 5, most difficult. Not as many bogeys, but still only 7 birdies. Catrina in a bog as well. It's crazy how when you were in the middle of the fairway, it was so wet, but at the second you walked off into the trees a little bit, they soaked them all up.
Yeah.
There was not as much water anywhere off the fairway. It was like dry.
Silva.
Oh, she was out of bounds. So this was the recovery of the century.
That makes more sense. And there's not going to be a lot of out of bounds par saves on this hole. That's phenomenal. Cadence 1 over with that double bogey, going to slide back to a tie for 11th. Silva and Kristin leading the field, first and second place.
And let's move on to this very technical little par 3 in the middle of the course. I used to just hate this hole, but now I kind of like it.
Me too.
I think it's a fun, I don't know if they chopped a tree down. I think maybe that middle tree was cut down since I last played this course, but
I think there used to be one right there. Like you can see the stump.
Yep.
Right?
There's a couple little stumps where I'm like, oh, maybe that's why I used to hate this. Maybe that's why I used to hate this. But now it's a fun shot. It's still a tight shot. It's still mean. If you catch any of the trees on the edge of the fairway, you can still kick out of bounds left and right. And have an impossible recovery shot, but I like this little gap shot that you're forced to hit here in the middle of the round.
I like the gap shot. I do feel like it's hard to hit it perfectly clean. Like there's usually a little bit of squeaking through in the last, 80% through the hole to actually park it. But if you can hit the first 80%, like you're gonna par it generally. Silva catching that early tree, gonna be a tough par save.
Nice kick though, to the right towards the middle. We'll see if she's able to swing. Catrina a little early. This is the most common mistake, I think. She can recover from there with a little forehand roller or maybe a chippy hyzer and giving herself a long putt.
This is another one with that OB line on the left that you are doubly punished if you get kicked over there.
Yep. Here's Cadence showing us how she is always one of the players that performs exceedingly well in the woods. She is a gap hitter through and through.
Silva making her way to the edge of circle. Solid shot from there. Kristin, little forehand harp. Nice turning shot.
Perfect. 16 competitors got at least to circle 2 in regulation out of 48 in the field. Only 11 got to circle 1 in regulation. This little right to left wind definitely comes into play on the green.
Here's that chippy hyzer. Nice shot from Catrina. Great recovery. Cadence from outside circle 2, giving it a bit of a run.
Only 7 bird. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong hole. Dang it. 19 to circle 2 in regulation, 12 to circle 1 in
regulation.
Honestly,
not that different.
Nope, 11 birdies though.
That's good. 11 on 11. Make a wish.
Here's Silva to recover for bogey.
Whoa. That is a sound I don't know that I've ever heard come from a basket, personally. But she's in.
She is in. No chains necessary.
And losing a stroke to Kristin. It's going to be a tie up at the top. Yeah. And the rest of our feature card with a round of pars, pretty typical on the 11th.
Cool.
The hair.
2 down is enough to be in a tie for the lead right now.
Oh, Lisa Vegas and Missy Gannon going to join that tie.
Moving on to the first par 5 of the day.
Yeah, it's 848 feet. definitely gettable. OB left and right that you need to watch out for. You want to land somewhere in this area, and then the drone's going to take this left gap. There's also a right gap. Can be tricky to get far enough and right enough on the second shot to line up your third shot. If you execute this hole, everyone in the field can birdie it, but obviously easier said than done. That second shot can be a doozy. The third shot can be a little tough as well if you're too tucked on that left side. It is kind of like a downhill shot in that group of trees. Even though it's blind, gives you a pretty good estimate of where you're supposed to throw, and it's generally just a hyzer. But I believe, yeah, it's just a straight left to right wind to start, but halfway down the fairway, we move to like a different side of the hill, and the wind changes wildly.
You can see Kristin's disc getting a bunch of wind bounces. It was very unpredictable and did not, the wind did not fly the way that you think it would.
Yeah, on this hole more than any other.
Yeah, a lot of wild results happening on these tee shots on my card today. See how the feature card deals with it.
The invisible temperamental wind, if you will.
Catrina working the hyzer flip. That was the best shot I saw on my card. Anyone that tried an Annie or even a big hyzer had a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Got treated rudely.
Cadence with a nice straight shot here. That's great.
Yeah, really, really good.
On a calm day, though, you're going to see these drives land farther than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, there's plenty of space. You can kind of open up. That tree line deep is at about, I would say, 380 maybe a little farther than that. So you can bomb a distance driver, not really have to worry too much.
And really smooth shot from Silva there. Good distance.
I like this par 5 because even if you do error on your tee shot, as long as you don't go out of bounds, you can still recover. And
Totally.
if you do go out of bounds, you can still recover.
Unless you
It's
go out of
doable.
bounds early, right?
Yeah.
I
True
mean,
that,
I wouldn't
true
know
that.
anything about that, but it's I would imagine it's hard to recover from there. But you're correct. Like, it's a very fair, scoreable par 5, but it's not the easiest to birdie. Like, you
No.
got to earn it.
Yeah, it was one of the more birdied holes of the day. There were 16 birdies on this one, but still 3 demanding shots to
Yeah.
get to the green.
And I think Cadence will probably have an easier time than Catrina will, just based on where you land and what gap you're lined up to.
Totally.
Nice, powerful shot from Cadence there.
Almost every shot to the green is blind, unless, like Erika said, you are way, way right. It's hard to get far enough right to see the basket or the green. But even where Cadence landed a little bit more left, it's fine.
That is a great looking shot from Kristin.
Bombed.
So far up there. Would be more of a chip. A lot of women throwing fairway driver or even distance driver on the third. And Silva taking the right side. Just a simple hyzer.
Yeah, forced to take a little bit off here because of the angle to the gap.
Yeah, that left side gap is great if you're lined up to it, but definitely a more technical shot. Catrina up first. That line of dead trees that we can see kind of points right at the basket, so you're just aiming and trying to skip right before them. Wow, what a great demonstration from Catrina Allen. Bullseye hit.
Yeah, there's like some sort of little ground spring coming out right by the screen, so it is pretty boggy. You're not going to get much ground play here. Catrina's disc stopping nicely. Silva throwing right at that line of trees. Not quite able to sneak through, but you're only at about 20 or 25 feet from there.
Cadence pushing it a little deep, but gonna get through the line of trees and just outside the bullseye. Well done. And Kristin can actually see it and throw a
Wow.
forehand, which is pretty wild.
That is wild. God, I can see why she shredded at JomezPro last week.
Yeah.
That course probably played really easy with this much distance on her drives.
Silva, tough angle here. Not a great gap. Nice birdie putt.
Yep, laser focus.
I always kind of like those putts, though.
Me too.
Yeah, it just makes you're like, oh,
I
it's
had a-
more difficult. Let me just sneak it through this gap.
I had almost that exact gap, and it was like the best feeling putt of the day.
Uh-huh.
It's very fun. circus butts. You can see Kristin kind of walking around the little puddles. Cadence with a birdie look.
And we are looking at a star frame.
Yes, we are.
First of the tournament. Feels good out here at Mill Ridge.
Yeah, star frame dance. One of only 3 holes that averaged over 30% birdie rate.
Still tied up at the top. Kristin, Missy, and Silva.
Moving on to the easiest hole of the day. This is it.
Dang, this was my other. I said
Really?
13. I said 7, 13, or 16.
And they did change this one from last year. They put the basket in a shorter position. You can opt to go deep like the drone is flying, taking this left gap, or you can throw something a little shorter, even just a putter. There's a teeny tiny gap on the right side. I kind of like that gap.
Me too. There's 2 teeny gaps, actually.
Yeah, this basket used to be on the other side of the out of bounds little finger of trees. You can see just past the green now. Really made the hole so much easier.
Do you remember it was like this 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And then they pushed it out, and then they brought it back. So this is an old pin position.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, from I want to say 2 or 3. I can't remember, years ago.
Yeah,
I love it.
You can see the elevated pin in the distance when the tee shots land. We love this change, but it is playing as the easiest hole of the day. There were 18 birdies.
I like to call it a return to form.
Yeah.
You know, this is where the hole belonged the whole time. I was mad when they changed this one.
Yeah, I like it because it's in the old position. It's a little bit too tight of OB on the deep side of this fairway, where you can't really throw a distance driver because you might go out of bounds deep. And I like here you can throw a putter, you can throw a mid, you can throw a fairway. It's just kind of player's choice, which is fun.
Look at this wind they're dealing with. Ripping left to right crosswind.
Low ceiling as well, so you have to really make sure not to accidentally thrower your disc.
And yeah, Matt, you make a really good point of there's such a variety of strategies, and it's cool that it played as the easiest, but by no means easy to line yourself up to a 10-foot gap.
Yep. Yeah, it's very easy to be out of position, especially if
even like this.
Yeah, if you I was going to say if you pull out your distance driver, but yeah, even the ones that are a little too short. You can see Cadence trying to flip this disc. That OB, not coming into play. She's fine. She's in circle 2 left of the pin.
And deep. Silva lined up for a straight or maybe just a slight turning shot.
Ooh, man.
And that little creek is truly terrible.
And here's where the hole shows its teeth. It still does have teeth, even though it plays easier. How close is that OB behind the pin?
I didn't
30?
fully look, but I think it's just outside the circle,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Oh, and Kristin getting caught up. Just showing how you really need to be pretty perfectly lined up to this gap to make easy work of it.
Catrina trying to recover a par here, and she is lined up perfectly, throwing 3.
That's a nice looking shot in what is now a tailwind as she turns the corner. Beautiful. Silva, honestly, fortunate to have this. I mean, this is not a good stance, but she could be 2 feet back of that and have absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I watched someone on my card struggle to even pitch out today.
Yeah, that's why I think this is a great hole. So much trouble, a lot of technicality, but very, very gettable at the distance. Listen to the wind.
Yeah. It's crazy that it played as the easiest hole, and we're watching our feature card struggle with it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it good. I was theorizing that this one was going to be the easiest just because the other ones are par 3s, and this one, you don't have to throw that far.
Yep.
And you get 2 chances, and you can throw 2, not perfect shots and still get the birdie.
This hole had the highest, averaged with the highest birdie rate and also lowest bogey rate. And you got to do both, I guess, to be the easiest hole.
Kristin cleaning up a nice putt there. Silva doing the same to save a par. Yeah, it's surprising not to have any birdie looks, though, on our feature card here.
And nice to play a little easy chippy par 4.
Relaxing.
Yeah.
It's the only par 4 that is not absolutely grueling.
Yeah.
Missy Gannon now 4 down through 13.
Still just the top 10 of the field under par.
Hole 14, another par 5, 790 feet. I like this one a lot. I believe is a crosswind right to, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're trying to land either right before hold on, I'm busy, right before the pipeline little ditch, or maybe in it, and then second shot you're trying to kind of push this corner with either a backhand or a forehand. Is a little bit safer, but then makes the final approach shot harder. You need 2 really big accurate shots to then put yourself in position to have like maybe a shorter shot up there for birdie, or you got to decide game plan wise, do you want to take a little bit off each shot and have kind of 3 equidistant shots to get the birdie. And that's just assuming you're in the fairway. You can easily trickle out of bounds anywhere on this hole and maybe start stacking strokes.
Absolutely. This is another decision time on the tee as well. You can throw a layup shot like we see Kristin just to the mouth of the gap. You see some players trying to go through the gap as well.
In this left to right / tailwind.
Yes. And the wind really did come into play here. Your disc wants to hyzer so bad right at that out of bounds line. So you see Kristin and Catrina both accidentally put it a little bit too far right. Cadence doing a better job trusting her.
But yeah, it's risky though. But she's in a way better position. Yeah, I tried more of like a really spiky hyzer so it didn't skip, which is not something I practiced, but this wind was pretty gnarly.
I tried to throw a mid-range and just like dumb it down, and I just hyzered straight out of bounds with
funny.
a mid. The wind was crazy.
It was crazy.
It really took control.
But I like what Silva just did there, like a little bit more of a hyzer angle that kind of bites a little bit quicker because it can't just skip way out of bounds.
Cadence, like Erika said, in a perfect spot. She needs this to turn just a little more.
Come on. And with Cadence doesn't really throw sidearms, but with a step out sidearm, she can get a look from there.
It is a demanding step outside.
It really is. It's very technical.
Here's Catrina having to throw a turning blind shot to the fairway. She's taking a risk.
Yeah, big
going
risk.
Big.
Because that is so dense in there.
She's hunting for birdies.
Yeah. Yeah, she could have definitely taken some off and played for par there. I mean, respect, but she's going to be now scrambling. Silva in a much better position to attack here. And
Riding that right side OB.
Man, I like the play. It just really went straighter than I expected.
Oh, and look at that wind right now.
Look at those clouds right now.
Yeah, look at Kristin really pushed up against those gas line signs. A nice little chippy forehand. She doesn't try to do anything too crazy. Kind of an opposite decision from Catrina.
And she can still birdie from there, but what a demanding flex shot.
Yeah, you can see the camera guy down there. It's got to go that far and finish right. She is going to try.
And that looks fantastic.
Oh,
and that's
she goes deep?
Well, I think it's I think it's easier to go deep.
I know.
It's hard to
far shot.
You almost have to throw like a stalling flex to get it to land because the pin isn't that far past the corner.
It's just a crush.
It is a crush for sure. Oh boy.
Yeah, Catrina just pitching out. She can rely on that sidearm for her third shot to the green. I'm blind here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is needs to be kind of a touchy, maybe stalling shot. Otherwise, this is going to go deep too. Still a good shot. Hannah Bloomers, I played with her, and her second shot was over this middle group of trees.
Wow.
To the left, she was almost in circle 2.
Holy cow.
It was unreal.
So awesome.
Silva throwing 3, really awkward position from a knee here. She's just playing for par at this point. A good recovery shot.
I like this hole.
I do too.
I think it's a really fun par 5.
I think both par 5s are great.
It's crazy how many different ways you see people getting to the pin.
True.
It is wild.
All right. Little techie sidearm overturned from Cadence, but No major harm done there.
And not going to try to get too aggressive here. This basket is perched on a little mound that can set up for some difficulties on the putting green.
This hole's almost the same as last year, but the pin was like straighter. It didn't. It's shorter now, but more to the right.
I like the change.
Yeah, I like it too. Really technical final approach shot. Wow, what a birdie.
Holy moly. 40 feet comeback putt. One of only 8 birdies on the hole today. Yeah, let's watch it again.
Yes, please.
Slower.
Even slower. No, wait, no, slower. Wow.
Yeah, right on the pole.
Never a doubt. And really clean round from Kristin Lätt.
12 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation. Kristin didn't need to.
Catrina a little low right on her par save there.
Let's see if Silva can scramble here.
No problem. Ooh, it actually almost pushed it out.
It sure did.
And a nice scramble, too, from Cadence. Catrina going to take the bogey back to even. Man, absolutely clutch putt there. Going to take the lead from Silva, still in a tie with Missy Gannon.
Another par 3, hole 15, a very fun downhill shot. Definitely caters to the forehand. If you've got a big spiking hyzer shot or a low flat one with a slower speed disc, it sets up really nice. There's also this backhand option as well. Up the gut, I like a mid-range, a nice straight mid-range. You can rely on something a little more overstable as well. There wasn't a whole lot of notable win here today.
It was blocked here.
Yeah, it was blocked pretty nicely. Therefore, it was extremely hot on this hole. Let's watch Missy Gannon.
Ooh, ace running it. And basing it. Sweet. Missy with a turkey 4 down share of the lead. Looks like she's going to move to 5 here.
Nice.
Wow, cool play. Just slow it down by hitting the thing.
Yeah, that OB comes up so fast behind the basket. It's only like 25 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it does feel like a hole you want to throw a faster disc, it's just not the play.
On the backhand.
Yeah, on the backhand, of course.
Kristin with an orbit rive. Love the hyzer angle, trying to get it to skip. So close to perfect.
You see this all the time.
It's a better mistake than pushing too deep and going OB. This tree is straight out of like a cautionary children's tale. Like, this is where the witch lives and where you're in trouble. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Cadence pulling it too far to the right, but it gets a unbelievably friendly kick.
Yeah, she came in with a lot of height. Looks like she might have been throwing a putter. Is that right?
She threw a soft link. Silva trying to flip something up. Oh, she does it. Wow,
ooh, it gets
so
real
flippy.
sneaky.
That was a neutron echo. And Catrina gonna work the sidearm. Look how muddy this tee pad is.
Yeah, there's so much mud on the walk to this tee pad. Really nice little hyzer flip shot from Catrina. It is pushing a little straight.
Mm-hmm. Gonna challenge that OB deep for sure. Yeah, that's what I like the hyzer, because you might hit the witch tree, but you're gonna stay in bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Which might be the, moral of the children's tale. There's also a little fairy stream, little brook. Oh, no way. Okay.
Wow.
What a great bid. Just past this hole, which I feel like is the reward at the end of the children's tale. Okay, I'm done. Catrina throwing 3 with the OB. Deep in circle 2 to an elevated pin.
Wow.
What a save.
Yeah, Catrina not going to string together any more bogeys. Great recovery on the elevated basket. No fear.
You could tell she was so focused on this one. Really clean release.
Yeah, that came in with some pace.
Yeah, some pepper.
Even though this hole is birdieable by everyone in the field, you can see how technical it is. There were only 7 birdies today.
Silva gonna get one of those.
Paige Shue and Allie Smith also parking the hole. We got to watch Missy Gannon do that.
Yeah, they probably didn't base it with coming in with a bunch of heat though. And Silva gonna move to 4 down to tie it up with Kristin. Catrina and Cadence both even par, still in the top 10.
Ben's a pro who spent $25 on his premium driver and threw it 413 feet, which means he spent about 6 cents per foot for his shot. Matt's a total noob, but he only spent $5 for his premium driver on discountdiscgolf.com. He throws his 213 feet, which means Matt only spent 3 cents per foot for his shot, making him the clear winner in this distance battle. Cheap discs are better. It's science.
Hole 16, I really like this change. It's a 248-foot left to right moving shot. I think really calls for a sidearm, but the backhand turning shot with a slow speed, maybe mid-range works as well. The OB is kind of a funny little S shape. It's very, very fair. It feels like a must-get birdie, which I would argue we should have more on every single course that we play on tour. I love it.
Yeah, even though it feels like a must get, it's still a challenging hole with how close that OB comes in and how it's a blind shot. Holland, though, really dialed in with this buzz, parking this forehand shot.
Yeah, I'm not saying everyone's gonna get it. It just feels like you should get a putt at it at least, you know, which I think we could stand to have more of.
I agree.
Missy Gannon, 5 down, gonna go forehand. I saw her practice this and get inside the circle, miss forehand, and this fading pretty hard. Oh, okay. No, it's great.
It is far enough, came in soft enough that it didn't skip, and she is good for the putt as well.
Welcome out to the 2025 MVP Music City Open.
Moves to 6 down. Silva gonna show us the backhand going putter, Electron Envy. Love the height and turn on this one. So good.
Oh, wow.
And the most casual little wave. Yes, yes.
This is a scary little shot with that OB on the left-hand side. Also, just a little bit too much angle, and you can so easily cut roll out of bounds.
Definitely. Especially, I'm trying to... Do you remember the wind? Left to right?
I think it was a tail left to right.
Yeah.
Kristin,
Oh, nice.
Coming in with some pace, but it checks up.
Spikes very nicely. Cadence also going to go backhand here.
Pretty.
Wow. Such good control from both Cadence and Silva. It's a very impressive shot. Catrina going sidearm again. If she throws the exact shot she threw in the last one, it'll be good. Ooh.
Uh-oh. Kind
Maybe
of a flippier disc, and it doesn't quite get the fade that she wants.
Just a bit too straight. In another position of a deep circle 2 look for a par save. No, wow.
Man.
What an
off
effort.
the nubs.
Man, she's really locked in. Cadence for birdie. Good for it. And back under par.
We love a supportive spectator. 20 birdies on hole 16, 41% birdie rate. This was actually the highest birdie rate. But
Dang.
I know.
Highest birdie rate, but not easiest.
Yep,
okay.
yep.
All right.
A few more bogeys on this one.
That makes sense. More out of bounds. than hole 13. I'm proud of us though. We like played the game correctly for the first time.
After planning on it for 2 tournaments.
Yeah. They didn't need to know that. Kristin, Silva, 5 down. Missy Gannon, 6 down. Starting to pull away here.
And here is the final par 4 of the day. This is 469 feet, but it's more about the technicality of the shots than it is about the distance. The first shot is really demanding. I think it really forces you to throw a forehand. The backhand is really tough because of the slope of the landing area and just the footing in general. The right turning with the low ceiling is really tough. Even Missy Gannon, you can see pulling out this forehand. Second shot is an uphill shot to a basket that has a few trees guarding the green, but nothing too difficult. I think one of the easier approach shots on the par 4s.
If you get
tournament.
far enough, though,
Yes.
up the hill.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely agree with you. Missy going backhand here, sneaking through those trees. And this is a new hole. We used to play a really difficult par 3. Now we're coming out to the right here. Missy going to 7 down.
Look at this back 9. Silva going to show us the backhand route.
It's so
You
hard.
just have to get it to go straight. Where she lands here is going to be just a wee bit tucked. She still will be able to get up to the green. It's just, we'll see how much that guardian corner tree comes into play.
The sidearm, it's so easy to push too straight, though, as well. Like, it's... Ooh, I love that.
Me too.
Just throwing really, really hard with something crazy stable.
Oh.
No!
Oh, what the heck?
Kristin absolutely punished on that one. That was a great shot.
Let's watch Cadence with the backhand as well.
We know she's got the angle control, but you got to get crazy aggressive to try to get the birdie with the backhand
You
here.
can see where catch cam is. You don't have to go that far. You can land about 30 short of that. Cadence just a little tucked on the right as well, where Kristin's disc just rolled. Let's see if Catrina can be the only one to find the landing zone.
Ooh, a little early there, and a pretty fortunate break. Everyone's struggling with this tee shot. It's oddly difficult.
It is. It is. Even when it used to be a par 3 where the catch cam was standing, it was such a hard birdie.
Yeah. But we are not throwing the same drive at all.
No.
Like, we're throwing a completely different shot. So I think we're going to see ladies kind of start to dial this one in with a little more practice.
Catrina trying to wrap the corner and get up there, but she was just a little bit too pinched. Kristin forced to just kind of chip something out as well. And look at the wind really pick up right here.
Everything's just rustling.
Oh, Cadence in a rough spot with this little tree dancing.
Ooh,
Wow.
that's a really good shot. I'm amazed she stayed on her feet, too.
Yeah, really great distance. I think she made it all the way up into circle 2.
Impressive.
Silva trying to work this backhand.
Come on back.
Oh, no.
Ooh, on the line.
That's so funny. I don't know what the deal is right there. I did the exact same thing, just accidentally yeeted it way right.
I don't know. I feel like it's easy to do with the backhand because you're trying to get around the trees.
Yes.
And it's
And
kind
up
of
the
left to
hill.
rightish too. Wind. Whoa. Little elevator.
Oh, man. That's another pretty bad kick.
Yeah, Kristin
Straight backwards.
getting hammered on this one.
Yeah.
Catrina's third. 110 feet, we'll call it. Because I get to decide how far it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little farther. Good shot.
I think that was just floaty.
Yeah. Really well done.
Cadence in another weird spot here without having a forehand, this little backhand turning shot. Wow, so good at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard shot.
I mean, you have to have that, though, if you don't have the forehand to play at the level that she's playing at.
Mm-hmm. Look at this wind. It is wilding right now.
Mm-hmm.
Kristin fighting for her life for a par here.
Yeah, she really just got hosed. Oh, man. Did not deserve that bogey.
Silva just a meter in from the OB line.
Looking for a birdie and a turkey.
Yep, just inside circle 1.
Give it to her. Great conversion.
And that's a 2-stroke swing just on 1 hole.
Math is cool.
There were only 7 birdies on this hole today. Played harder than I thought.
Yeah, that tee shot is tough.
It is.
I bet we see more, though. Unless conditions get worse, obviously. Which they very well might.
They will, for sure.
They will. You're right. Just in denial.
Yeah, the percent chance of rain tomorrow was a lot higher during this past week. It's gotten a little lower, but we're still supposed to have a ton of wind, some possible moisture, and then Sunday is just looking bad. So you guys enjoy it while you can here with us in round 1 in the sunshine, in the mud.
Missy Gannon leading the way 7 down through 17. Silva 6 down. Kristin slides back 4 down. Hole 18, same as last year, kind of up on an elevated tee pad, which is fun. Par 3, 429 feet. Not quite. Is it blind? Or no, you can see it. You can see it.
You can see it. It's just far.
It's far. And usually what you need to do to get there is kind of push this right side of the green and get a little bit of ground play. But you can see there's a stump, there's some rocks, there's a couple of trees. It's also pretty easy to find that right side OB if you're not careful. So I would say most common plays, maybe not taking a little off, but maybe not pushing it quite as aggressively as you need to and landing more in circle 2.
Yeah, it's if you're trying to get all the way to the green, it's a little bit of a poke and hope, kind of.
Just a bit.
Yeah, but I like it because it is good risk management.
Yeah. It's a
because of
fun
that pinching OB.
for sure. It's also just a fun big shot.
Yeah.
That even like middle of the pack player, distance-wise players can reach with a perfect angle control.
It was a tailwind left to right, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
But swirling around all over the place.
Yeah, you can see the skirt of the tee pad really floating up here. Great shot from Cadence.
Ooh.
Gets a nice little jump off the log.
Jump off the stump.
Mm-hmm. Stump jumper.
Mm-hmm. Catrina working the hyzer flip, trying to get this nice straight carry.
And she's going to fade out a little bit early, but it's nice and open over there, which is great.
And on the heat map, that zone is red hot. You see a lot of people pushing that left side OB.
Kristin also trying to work a hyzer flip. It's a little low. Wow, a little hovercraft also.
And not quite able to even sneak into circle 2.
That's a nice orange spot on the map, though.
Yeah,
This
really.
little awkward chip shot. You see this all the time.
Uh-huh. Very obstructed.
Catrina around circle 2 edge, just going to lay up.
There were only 5 birdies on hole 18 out of 48 competitors, but 34 out of 48 got to circle 2 in regulation.
Wow.
So just a ton of circle 2 putts.
I bet a lot of them weren't putts, though. I bet a lot were what we just saw.
Yep. Oh,
Ooh,
man.
that's a putt, though.
4 in a row for Silva Saarinen.
You gotta.
Oh my
you
gosh,
gotta
I'm
bird
not on my
putt?
game.
Okay, here you take a moment to think. I'll admire this putt. What a way to finish from Silva to tie the lead. Actually, I guess we don't know how Missy did on the last hole, but we're gonna find out because that is how it works. That's the order of operations. What a fantastic round from Silva. Cadence for a birdie as well. Nice finish. Gonna take her to 2 under. Also a great showing from the young gun.
Yeah, really nice recovery after that double bogey in the middle of the round, finishing clean.
And
Uh-oh.
I was gonna say Kristin with a great round, just an unfortunate couple of breaks on the last hole, and maybe just a lack of focus on the final putt, finishing bogey there. Gonna be 4 strokes back of Silva. Wow. Interesting.
And Silva with her foot on the gas coming down the stretch.
Only one bogey is pretty amazing on this course.
Yeah, 4-stroke gap between first and third. Evelina Saarinen and Kristin going to join us on the lead card tomorrow for round 2. Cadence Burge barely missing it onto that. To be in the top 7, you have to be under par. Top 10, right around the even par mark.
I definitely thought there'd be more under par.
Me too.
But
me too.
On a clear, calm, dry day.
The wind plus the rough ground conditions did make for some surprising difficulties on the course today, more than I was expecting. Tomorrow, again, we said earlier, there's a little bit of rain in the forecast. The wind is supposed to be gusting up to 30 miles per hour. We'll see if we have to deal with that during our round. Yeah, but it's going to be warm again, maybe a little wet. Come hang with us in these Nashville spring conditions.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
2 thriving geese. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. Honk.
Honk.
Watch your body and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly I feel fine. Get up, watch your body and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly I feel fine.